Hello, friends. Welcome back to Maths Genie. This is Sayukta Sharma, and you are watching Chapter Circles NCRT. Now, before starting the chapter, we need to know some basics, and I'm very sure you all must be knowing it. So, I'm just going to brush up in like a minute. Okay. So, what is a radius? Radius is something which passes from center and touches one of the point of the circle, that is radius. So this blue line is radius. What is diameter? Diameter is double the radius. So the long line which passes through the center and touches two edges of the circle is diameter. Okay, not necessarily the diameter should look like this. Diameter can look like this also. See, this is passing through the center and touching two points. This is also a diameter. Radius can also look like anything like this, the one which passes from the center and touches one of the point of the circle. So radius can go in any direction starting from the center to the any point on the circle. Chord can also pass from the center. It is also called diameter. So you may have studied this in class 8th or ninth. Diameter is the longest chord. Okay, now let's look at the next concept. This concept is used widely in your class 10th chapter. Now let me walk you through the concept. The concept says that the radius is perpendicular. What is the meaning of perpendicular? Making 90-degree. Radius is perpendicular to the tangent. Now what is a tangent? Good question. Tangent is any line which is outside the circle and touches one of the point of the circle. So tangent could be anything. Tangent could look like this. Tangent could look like this, like this. So any point which is any line which is touching the circle but only at one point. So this is called as tangent. And the point at which it touches the circle is called as point of contact. So this is a property which we are going to prove in the very next slide. Don't worry, I'm going to show you how to prove this as well. Okay, now this is your proof. It can come in two ways. What is the proof? A tangent to a circle is perpendicular to the radius drawn from the point of contact. Okay, let's look at this. This also means the same, but we'll look at the first sentence. This is your theorem. Okay, now I'm going to quickly draw a circle. Okay, and a tangent to a circle. So I'm going to draw a tangent also here. Let me draw a tangent to the circle. Okay, a tangent to a circle is perpendicular to the radius drawn from the point of contact. So I just told you what is point of contact. Point of contact is the point where the circle and the line are touching. So radius is what? A line drawn from center. So this is the center, for example. A line drawn from the center to the point of contact is perpendicular. This is what we want to prove. Correct, is perpendicular. This is what we want to prove. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to join another line. Let me just consider another line. Okay, this is some line. I don't know what line. It's just some line, and I'm going to name it something like P Q. This is your R, and let me name this center as O. Okay, this point is R. Okay, now let's look at how to derive this theorem. There is one property which you had studied in class 9th. What is that property? I'll quickly write on the screen. The property is shortest distance from a point to a line is perpendicular distance. Okay, this is the statement we know. Okay, this is the statement we know. Shortest distance from a point to the line is the perpendicular distance. Now in this case, first we know this, right? So we have to first prove that the shortest distance is radius. So in your thought, what you have to consider now, how do I prove that shortest distance from all these lines? OP is your radius, right? Shortest distance is radius. We have to prove this. Now this is your thought. The drawing that I've drawn is your thought. You should think this way. Now my thought process should be, how do I prove that R is the shortest distance? Okay, now look at this triangle. Before that, look at the line OQ. Okay, look at the line OQ. Okay, when you look at this line, what do I find? That this big OQ line is made up of two small lines. This big OQ line is made of two small lines, OR plus RQ. Okay, this is from the figure. Now what does this mean? OQ is the big line, right? OQ is bigger than OR. Of course, OQ is bigger than OR. Let me consider this as 1. OQ is bigger than OR. But what is my goal? I have to show that OP is the smallest. I have to show, my goal is OP is the smallest. Okay. Now, if you see, students, OP is your radius. OP is your radius. OR is also your radius. See, it is passing through O. O is your center and touching one of the points of the circle. So OR is also your radius. This is also radius and OR is also radius. So in place of OR, can I write OP in 1? In place of OR, can I write OP from 1? OQ as it is, greater sign as it is. In place of OR, what am I writing? OP. Okay. So now you understood OP is the shortest. OP is the shortest. Therefore, OP is the, that is what I wanted to prove, right? That OP should be the shortest line. OP is the shortest distance from point O to the tangent. Hence, proved. You can copy the question again. Okay. Now this is pretty much simple. If you write it twice or one time patiently, you will be able to remember how to solve this in the exam. Okay. Now let's look at the questions directly. Exercise 10.1. How many tangents to a circle intersect in, how many tangents can a circle have? Okay. Circle can have infinite tangents. Infinite tangents. Why infinite? Because circle is made out of infinite points and each point can have a tangent. In the circle, each point can have a tangent. So hence circle has infinite tangents. So let's look at the fill in the blanks question. A tangent to a circle intersects it in dash point. A tangent, see, this tangent intersects in only one point. Intersects means meets. So this tangent meets the circle only at one point. Correct? Only at one point. So the answer is 1. A line intersecting a circle in 2 points is called secant. Any line which intersects a circle in 2 points is called as secant. A circle can have parallel dash tangents at the most. A circle, now let's look at here. A circle can have dash parallel tangents. So this is one tangent, a tangent exactly parallel to this. A tangent exactly parallel to this is this tangent, correct? Now let me draw it in the tangent format. No, this is not the right one. Let me draw it again. So you see that to this tangent is parallel, correct? A circle can have two parallel tangent at the max. Can I have more than two parallel? Parallel means it should not meet ever. I'm stretching this, it should not meet ever. But if you look at this line, if I stretch this and if I stretch this, they are meeting, they are not parallel. Parallel lines never meet. Okay, pretty clear, pretty simple. The common point of a tangent to a circle, see, I have shown here a common point to tangent and circle is called as point of contact. It's called as point of contact. Okay, now let's look at another example from your chapter again. It says pretty simple, pretty simple. If you know Pythagoras, you know circle. If you know basics of triangle, you know circle. Okay, it's that simple. A tangent PQ. So okay, we have drawn tangent PQ as you see in the figure. Then a tangent PQ at a point P of a circle of radius 5 centimeter meets a line through the center O at point Q, so that OQ is 12. Find the length of PQ. Okay. Now this is a boring question. I've turned it into an interesting diagram. Okay. So you have to first draw the diagram. Without diagram, how will you solve the question? Now this he's asking me. I have 5, I have 12. I don't have this. Now, what I'll do is, here I have drawn 90 degree. Why? Because we just did a theorem, right? When a radius is perpendicular to tangent. So, I've drawn 90 degree here. Okay. Now, simple, apply Pythagoras theorem. What is Pythagoras theorem? In triangle OPQ, by Pythagoras theorem. What is Pythagoras theorem? Hypotenuse square is equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square. Correct? What is hypotenuse? Hypotenuse is side opposite to 90 degree. Side opposite to 90 is 12. 12 square. What is your side 1? 5. What is your side 2? PQ. I don't know. PQ square. 12 square is 144. 5 square is 25 plus PQ square. Simple. This is plus, goes there, becomes minus. And when you subtract 144 minus 25, it comes out to be 119. Now this square goes that side, becomes square root. This is your answer. Pretty simple. What did I do? Nothing. I just applied Pythagoras and one rule that I knew, which is radius touching tangent should be perpendicular. Okay, one simple rule I have applied, nothing else. Okay, now let's look at the next question. Okay, a theorem again. Theorem, your 10.2 theorem. Pretty simple. What is he asking me to prove? Length of the tangent drawn from an external points are equal. What is external? P is external point. Does it lie inside the circle? No. So P is an external point. Lengths of tangent drawn from external point. Now first you tell me what are the two tangents in this circle. Think for 30 seconds. What are the two tangents in this circle? You can pause the video, think, and then get back. So there are two tangents. What are the two tangents? PQ and PR are the two tangents. Now, what is he asking me to prove? I have to prove that PQ is equal to PR. I have to prove this. Now, how am I going to prove? Let's see. Now, you have to write all that, okay, all that theory. Let us join OQ, let us join OR, let us join OP, all that theory you write, okay. My job is to explain you how to arrive at the answer, okay. Now from theorem 10.1, remember the one theorem that we did just now, 90-degree theorem. Where is it? That radius and tangent are at 90 degree. So, first in this question, let me just write this is your tangent. PQ is your tangent. PR is your tangent, correct? OQ is your radius. OR is your radius. Now, radius and tangents are perpendicular. Radius and tangents are perpendicular. From where did I get this? 10.1. What does 10.1 say? 10.1 said that radius and tangents are perpendicular, are at right angle triangle. Okay. Now consider two triangles. Students, consider two triangles. In triangle OQP, OQP and triangle ORP. Both are radius, 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 same. So OQ is equal to OR because radii of the same circle. Okay, again, next what is the next common thing? OP is present in both the triangles, in triangle OQP and in triangle ORP. OP is the common line, so OP is equal to OP. Why? Because common. Okay, and these angles are equal. This is also 90 and this is also 90. So angle 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 Q is equal to angle R. Both are 90 degree, correct? So because of this, what I can say is by side angle side, this is side, this is side, this is angle, by side angle side, or you can also call it as RHS, radius, hypotenuse and common side, then what you can call it is triangle. 3 you have proved. When you prove 3, that means you can easily write that these triangles are similar. Since these triangles are similar, all the sides are similar. So therefore I can claim that what I wanted to find, what I wanted to show, PQ is equal to PR. PQ is equal to PR. I can show that easily because these two triangles are congruent. Okay. This is shown in great details in your textbook already, along with a lot of theory. That is why I've not written a lot of theory on the board. Okay, next question. I'm just taking conceptual questions and the questions which you might find are tough. Okay. Now in this diagram, you see PQ is a chord of length 8 centimeter, radius 5 centimeter. Tangent P and Q intersect at point T. Find TP. Okay, so a diagram has already been given. What we are going to do is we are going to just join this TO. Okay. Now we already know that radius and tangents are perpendicular. So you see a 90-degree sign here and here. If this is phi, because this is radius, this is also going to be phi. It's of no use in the question, but I'm still telling. Okay. Okay, now let's go ahead. I know. Okay. Now in you consider this small triangle. Okay. And then we will find it out. Join OT, let it intersect PQ at R. Triangle TPQ is isosceles. Therefore, we can say, therefore, we can say OT is perpendicular to PQ. OT is perpendicular to PQ. And therefore, OT, this dotted line, OT bisects as in cuts PQ. Therefore, this is a big line, right? PQ is a big line, and there is a dotted line in between. So this is your PQ is a big line. This big line is 8, and there is R in between, and it is bisecting. Bisecting as in bisecting meaning cutting in two equal parts. So this entire is 8. So this will be 4, and this will be 4. So therefore, PR is equal to RQ. PR is equal to RQ is equal to 4 centimeter. Okay. Now this is 4. This is 5. This is 4. Okay. Now let's move ahead. Okay. Now if in the see the triangle is getting completed, correct? I know this is 4. I know this is 5. So what I'm going to do is I am going to apply Pythagoras theorem. Okay, as I just mentioned that OT is perpendicular to PQ, OT is perpendicular to PQ, correct? So here also we can assume that it's 90-degree. So consider this small triangle. Consider this small triangle. This being 90. This is R, this is O, this is P, this is 4, this is 5, and this is I don't know. Okay. So now again I'll apply Pythagoras. What does Pythagoras say? Hypotenuse square, which is hypotenuse square, is equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square. 25 is equal to 16 plus RO square. 25 minus 16 is how much? 9. RO square. This square goes that side, root 9. Therefore, RO is 3. This is 3. Now let me put that in the main diagram. This is 3. Okay, now I have this as 3, I have this as 4, this as 5, this as x. So this side is remaining. Let us consider this side as y. Okay. Now let's move ahead. We want to ultimately find TP. Don't forget that. Okay. Now again, we will find via Pythagoras theorem. We will apply Pythagoras theorem twice. So first in triangle PRT. Okay, let me draw it here for better convenience. So in triangle PRT, let me draw it again for you. It's PRT. PT is X, PR, the small part, is 4, and RT is Y. Okay. Now I will apply Pythagoras theorem here. Remember here we had 90. Okay. So side opposite to 90, hypotenuse square is equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square, which is equal to x square is equal to 4 square 16 plus y square. So this is your equation 1. Now in the second triangle, consider the second triangle. In exam, you don't have to draw these small triangles. It's just for your understanding. Consider the second triangle quickly. OPT. OPT. Where is OPT? OPT. It is like this, correct? OPT. So PT is X, PO is 5. This is Y and this is 3. OT. So I'll write it as Y plus 3. Can I easily write that? Of course I can. So where is your right angle located in this case? Here. See, P is also right angle. The big triangle, bigger triangle, okay? Now side opposite to 90 degree, hypotenuse square is equal to side 1 square plus side 2 square. 5 square is 25, correct? Now I'll expand this. This, in place of this, I'm going to use which formula? A plus B the whole square. We all know 8th standard. A square plus 2AB plus B square. Your A in this case is Y and B is 3. So A square, so Y square plus 2 into A into B plus B square is equal to this. So Y square is equal to 6Y plus 9 is equal to x square plus 25. I'm going to bring all of the x square. I am going to bring all of the x square. X square I'm going to put this side. I'm going to bring all of it here. Y square plus 6y plus 9 minus 25. Okay, this plus 25 goes here, becomes minus. Okay. Now y square plus 6y. So what is the bigger number? 25. So always the sign of the bigger number will come. So 9 minus 25, 16 is equal to x square. Now this is equation 2. Now why did I put x square this side? Now so that I can compare. Here you have x square, here you have x square. Can I equate both of these? In after x square, what do you have? 16 plus y square. And for this x square, on the side of equal to, what do you have? Okay, plus y square on each side gets cancelled. This 16 comes this side, becomes plus 16. 6y remains as it is. 16 plus 16, 32. 6. Y is equal to 32 upon 6. Y is not what we had to find. We had to find x. So now I have the value of y. I'm going to substitute it in any of the equation you feel like. So this is the easier equation. Equation 1. I'm writing it again. I'm writing equation 1 again. This is your equation 1. I already got y. What is the value of y? 32 upon 6. 32 upon 6 the whole square. Okay. Now when you solve this, you will get x square as 400 upon 9. So therefore x root 400 upon 9. Square goes that side, becomes root. 400 root is 20 and root of 9 is 3. Okay. Moving ahead to the next question. Next is a property, simple property. It says that if a quadrilateral is inscribed inside the circle, then angle A and angle C are supplementary. What is the meaning? Angle A plus angle C supplementary means their addition should come out to be 180 degree. Okay. Then the opposite angle again, B and D. Angle B and D should be 180. This is the property of circle. Okay. On the basis of this property, we are going to solve further questions too. This is a very simple question. Okay. Now they've given you the diagram. I'm not even reading the question. What you have to do is you have to find PTQ. So PTQ. So this is what you have to find. How are you going to find this? Zoom in. I'll tell you. So again, identify what is the radius. This is a radius, right? OP is the radius. And this is a tangent. So when radius and tangent meet, what does happen? It becomes perpendicular, right? This is perpendicular. This is also radius passing from center to one of the point, and this is tangent. TQ is tangent, so radius tangent meeting, what happens? 90 degree. So this is 90, this is 90, this is 110. What will be this? So there's a property of quadrilateral. Any quadrilateral, anything which has four side, anything which has four side, any shape. Okay, anything which has four side is a quadrilateral. Chord as in four. Okay, chord as in four. So there is a property of quadrilateral. I don't know if you are aware of this property, but it's a very simple property. All angles of a quadrilateral, sum of all angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. And is this not a quadrilateral? This your shape, this shape has four sides, right? This is your quadrilateral. P, this is your O, this is your Q, this is your T. So this is given 110. This you just found out to be 90. This is 90. This you don't know. So sum of all angles of a quadrilateral is 360 degree. Okay. So angle P plus angle O plus angle Q plus angle T should give you 360 degree. So P is how much? 90. O is 110. Q is 90. Angle T I don't know. This is 360. 90 plus 90, 180. 180 plus 110 gives you 290 plus angle T is equal to 360. Angle T is equal to 360 degree minus 290, which is angle T is equal to 70 degree. There is one more method of solving as we solved for supplementary angle. Similar method. So this is method 1. Okay, this is method 1. Method 2 is maybe more simpler. Okay. What does method 2 say? Opposite. Opposite to O is T. Correct? Opposite to O is T. So angle O plus angle T should give you how much? 180 degree. We just studied it, right? In the previous slide, I had shown you that opposite angle sum is 180 degree when inscribed inside the circle. Okay. Now O is 110. T I don't know. So T is 180 minus 110. So T is 70. This is one method and this is another method. Do as you please. Okay. Now, next question. If angle tangent PA and PB from a point P with circle O inclined to each other at an angle of 80 degree, then angle POA is equal to what? Okay. So he's asking me what is the measure of angle PO POA. Okay. I'll quickly show you that. Very easy question. We just studied a property of quadrilateral, right? All angles of a quadrilateral, the sum is sum of all angles of a quadrilateral is how much? 360 degree. Okay. Now, therefore, what does that mean? Angle P plus angle B plus angle O plus angle A is 360 degree. In exam, you write full form, right? Angle P, instead of angle P, you write BPA. So P in between. Okay, I'm just writing it in a shorter way. So P is 80, B is 90. How B is 90? Because this is radius, this is tangent, so of course it is 90. This is radius, correct? And this is tangent, so this is 90. So B is 90. O, I don't know. And A is also 90. Okay. So when you add all this, 90 plus 90, 180. 180 plus 80, 260. Angle O is equal to 360 minus 260. Angle O is equal to 100. Okay, this big angle O is 100. But he did not ask me this. What did he ask? He's asked me POA. He's asked me POA. So where is P? P, P, O, A. So POA. This I want to find. This whole is 100 and I have to find that. So I can orally say that if this whole is 100, then this is 50-50. But I'll have to prove that, right? So we'll have to prove that. Okay. Let's consider these two small triangles quickly. OPB, OPB. Okay. In triangle OPB and triangle OPA. OPB, OPA. AP is equal to PB because both tangent starting from the same point. Tangent drawn from external point. This is also the property that we had proved. Theorem 10.2. Tangents drawn from external point. This is from theorem 10.2, which we proved already just now. Then OA, OA, this both are radius, right? OA and OB. OA is equal to OB. Why? Because both are radii. Then another thing you have is OP is the common side. OP is equal to OP, common side. So therefore these two triangles are congruent. Therefore I can say that this big triangle, this big angle O 100, which we just found out, this is BOA, right? Angle BOA is 100. It is if you divide this angle by 2. So what we want to find? POA. So POA is divided by 2 because it is creating two parts, right? So POA is 50. This is 50 and this is 50, because this whole big angle is 100, and we just proved that these two triangles are congruent. We proved it. These two triangles are congruent. That is why I can say that this half and this half is 50 and 50. Okay. I hope you liked this short snippet of the chapter circle and a lot of concepts that we have covered, including theorems and a lot of properties. I hope this video is useful. See you in the next video. Stay tuned with Maths Genie.